car, I know it's got four wheels, runs on gasoline, et cetera, et cetera. And so the same thing happens with people. And so there's nothing intrinsically bad about stereotypes. It's just that two things. Number one is a lot of times we describe bad characteristics of people. And the other thing is that we have to recognize that not all features fit everybody in a category. So even though we think a car has four wheels, some cars only have three wheels. We think a car runs on gasoline. There's some cars these days, some cars run on electricity. So you have to be very careful when you think about people in terms of their categories, in terms of what category they're in. You have to remember that they may or may not have all the features that you think go with that category.
Thank you. Do you think these, like, categorizations, like, how do you think they're perceived? Do you think we're brought up thinking certain stereotypes, or do we just naturally see, like, for example, like, someone wearing glasses and we just think they're smart is one that we always use in our school. Do you think we're just brought up that way, or we happen to know, like, 50 people that are smart, and we see someone wearing glasses and we automatically think they're smart?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Some things, of course, we're taught. So I've never met anybody from, I don't know, Greenland, for example, but I'm sure I could generate some stereotypes about them based on what I've been told. Sometimes they're inferences. So you think if someone wears glasses, they must be smart. You assume that people wear glasses must read a lot, et cetera, et cetera. And sometimes they're just things that we develop on our own. So nobody has to teach you that, for example, I don't know, tall men are likely to play basketball. It's just something you observe. Of course, not all tall men do play basketball, but so it's a combination of things. And I don't think that some of the bad stereotypes that we have about African Americans, minority groups, women, etc., some of them are based on limited experience. Most of them are based on things that we've read or heard, cultural things.
All right, thank you. When there is evidence shown to support the opposite of certain stereotypes, do people still keep their biases, or do they not?
That's not an easy question to answer. I think sometimes it depends on the stereotype. A lot of times stereotypes get built in with some emotional baggage so that you're unwilling to give them up. But generally speaking, if I show you one car that's, you have a stereotype that cars are on gasoline, and I show you one car that runs on hydrogen, let's say, that's probably not going to change your stereotype because you know that that's a very rare occurrence. And so people are not very good at doing statistics on this stuff. So, you think, well, I've met one tall person that doesn't play basketball, but all the other tall people I know play basketball. So we generate exceptions to our rules. We do that all the time. And not all black men are good athletes, for example. Not all women love children, et cetera, et cetera. But so they're hard. It just depends. If it's a stereotype that's built on very, very little evidence of just something you've heard, it's probably easy to change. If it's something that's based on several years of experience, it's probably not going to change because it's just one exception to a rule.
Thank you. You mentioned some stereotypes that are common among people. Could you name some stereotypes of men and women? So, like, some stereotypes based on gender?
Well, I suppose the most common stereotypes are that women aren't very assertive, that they're more interested in children and people than they are in running companies or running organizations, things of that sort. And in general, that's true. But there's so many exceptions to that rule that it's kind of a rule that doesn't have much impact or much power. So, or stereotypes that men are more average. But of course, there are women that are violent too, and the fact that you think that men are violent doesn't mean that all men are violent, or even most men are violent. So it's a rule, it's a stereotype that we have, and it's true statistically, but it is so limited in scope that it really is not a very valuable stereotype. It doesn't keep people from using it, of course, but
well, thank you very much for your time, and that this really helped us with our research for our project.
What kind of project are you working on?
Yes, our project was to create a special interest group, and our interest group was with gender equality, and we were just looking for some answers to questions about why people just perceive men and women in different ways, and how stereotypes are made.
Okay, well, good luck with your project.
Thank you. Have a great day.